Hey everyone, it's Raziel here, and I am back bringing you a Xbox One Smite God build guide, or actually for consoles in general. Today we are going to be going over Serqet, Goddess of Venom, for patch 3.9, which just dropped this week for the consoles. Not much in terms of items really affected this God's build and everything else, but that's besides the point. The next assassin in my series, I guess we'll call it, and I feel that she's more of a true assassin, more so than the auto attack or AA assassins, or even AAA because it's three A's. Gods that like your Bakasura, your Arachne, or something like that. And I mean this in the sense that her main, you know, scenarios will involve getting in, doing your damage, and getting the hell out. Hopefully getting a kill or two in the process of that, and then, rinse and repeat kind of thing. Excuse me. So we're gonna go over we're gonna go over in this video her kit or abilities, depending on what you want to call them, her item builds, her priorities for ranking up her kit, and her combo slash scenarios for your game, your matchups, or whatever you want to call them. This is primarily for conquest, but it could carry over into laning or most modes, save for like assault or something. So take this with a grain of salt. This will help you starting out with Serqet. Feel free to make tweaks as you want to fit your playstyle, or if the meta changes with future patches, changing certain items, and even maybe the god herself might get tweaked, buffed or nerfed. All right. So, before we start, we're gonna go over the housekeeping. I'll call it. I don't know if I'll continue that phrase in subsequent videos, but as you can see down in lower right down there, I am using the Savage button layout for the Xbox One. If you're not using Savage, I highly recommend it. It works well for your hands. If you don't have like an Elite controller or anything where you can map the buttons, go with this. It is the easiest for myself that I found to work out. Anyway, that being said, it's going to differ from non-Savage layouts on Xbox One. From someone playing on the PS4, obviously you have different buttons, and if you're on the PC, your UI is completely different to begin with. So that being said, to limit the confusion, I'm going to call these abilities or her kit out as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Her 1 being the one completely on the left, and her ultimate all the way on the right there, or right there, is 4. I'm going to call these out as these numbers throughout this video. So hopefully, memorize it. If you get confused, come back to this point and just refresh yourself. That being said, let's get right into her kit. So we're going to start out with her passive, which is called Catalyst. Now it's additional damage, I think. It's excuse me. Her basic attacks apply Catalyst, which consumes her lingering potions, which we'll get into once we go over her remaining kit. If the target is affected by 2 or 3 different potions, they take additional damage. If not health potions, 2 potions are consumed, poisons are consumed, it deals 10% of the target's maximum health as physical damage. Now that's a target, not your physical damage or attack damage, whatever the hell it's called. I always freaking mess that up. It's the target's maximum health. If 3 potions are consumed, poisons. Why do I keep saying potions? I'm keeping this in here. I'm not restarting this. 20% of the target's maximum health is consumed. That is pretty big, especially if you get in, get out, and get done. All right. So keep this in mind when we go over her combos and scenarios at the end of this video. 10% to 1, not a 2, and 20% of the maximum health of the target. That's pretty beast. Okay, so let's go into her 1 here. It is Deathbane. This item, in conjunction with her 2 or later game alone, will be mostly for the jungle clear and maybe in part of the lane clear if you're still in that. She dashes 3 times from side to side, dealing damage and applying a Deathbane poison. Said it right that time, to each enemy hit. This ability can, critical hit, will come into play when we start doing her item build, and is immune to knockout while dashing. Deathbane poison reduces the target's physical protection for a short time, after which it remains in a lingering, dormant state for 20 seconds. What does that mean? It means the poison just stays on the target for 20 seconds after it does its initial damage. So at max rank it does 140, I think, each hit. So if you do 3 hits, that's 420. Plus, as you can see that 0 there, because I don't have any items, it does an additional 45% of your physical power as damage. And the protection reductions are 15% for 3 seconds. Not bad. You can hit them up 3, you can potentially even crit 3 times because it hits 3 times on the target. That's pretty good. And it reduces their protections for 15% for 3 seconds, which is good because you're not going to be sticking around. Chances are you're going to get 1 or 2 more hits within those 3 seconds to get the hell out. Got a 10-second cooldown, not too bad for all ranks. We're going to her 2, which is Cobra's Kiss. This is a pretty decent skill if you can use it properly and not miss, etc., etc. I guess you could say that about any ability, but what the hell. She launches 2 blades forward, dealing damage and applying the Cobra's Kiss poison. See a theme there in these 2 abilities here. They're pretty much, the poison is named right after them. The poison drives gods into madness, forcing them to attack nearby allies, dealing damage again, or walk harmlessly towards Serqet, sort of like a taunt. After the madness fades, whatever, the poison remains in a dormant state for 20 seconds, similar to her one. It just means she's got poisons on her for 20 seconds in either of these scenarios. You hit your enemy god 1, 2 within like a second or so, and she or he, the god's got multiple poisons on them for 20 seconds. At max rank, it does 150. So if you hit him twice, I think that's 300, not bad. Plus an additional 50% of your physical power. It's not too bad. And the madness lasts for almost 1.5 seconds at max rank. Cooldown's 18 seconds across the board, and it increases in a cost, etc., etc. We're going to go into her 3 now, which is Ambush. I don't believe there's any poisons associated with this ability. Uh-oh. Unfortunate. Serqet vanishes, rooting herself in place. So she pretty much, goes in stealth mode, but she can't move. Unlike Loki, who goes in stealth mode and, can prance around. She may leap once, revealing herself and dealing damage to any enemies that are in the area of effect when she lands. She'll stay hidden indefinitely until she either cancels this ability or leaps. Or if an enemy god gets within 12.5 feet or units or whatever of her, then she'll be seen. So you can be in stealth mode for a while till the end of the game if it doesn't log you out or whatever. But if you land on someone, it deals 320 damage plus another 50% of your attack power as physical damage, etc. Cooldown again is the same across the board. Cost is the same no matter what rank. We're gonna get into our ulti now, which is the bane of healers. This makes her a good matchup against a team composition who is heavy healers. They got a Ra, they got a Guan Yu, they got an Aphrodite Hell, etc., etc., etc. Vamana, that kind of scenario. It's called Last Breath. It's another leap. Not exactly the same as the previous ability, but it's a leap. It's a much shorter distance. So she leaps to an enemy, stunning them, and applying the last breath poison. Again, same name as the ability. And then pushes them 30 units away. I'll get back to this push here once I finish reading this. The poison deals damage over the next 5 seconds and prevents healing. 100% healing reduction, so they can't heal for anything while poisoned. If an enemy dies while infected with this poison, I don't know why I just rolled my eyes, they will explode, applying poison to all nearby enemies. I would assume that's the 20 unit radius. So, this deals at max rank 684 true damage. I don't understand that number, but we'll go with it. So pretty much it, negates any protections or etc. that I think they have. It's 684 no matter what over the next 5 seconds. Not bad. That's probably about quarter of like a mage's health or even a hunter or another assassin's. So you finish off with this ability for the most part. Because you also want them to die while this poison is on them within that 5 seconds, so it will spread, especially in team fight scenarios in the late game. Now, the stun duration is only 1 second, so I'll get into that. Once you leap onto the god, they are stunned. They're not going to move. You're stabbing them with the back of your tail, doing some pretty fierce 684 random number damage. This is bad because you can't move either. So if you, this happened to me just the other day, are, say, stuck on a god who's in their allies, Hui's, or even Zeus's ultimate, you're going to get hit for as long as you're in your ultimate. So you're gonna jump on them, you're gonna stab them, and you're gonna push them. So I don't know. It may be just 1 second, but that's one hell of a long second. You can get melted by Zeus and Hui ults, or anyone else really, who wants to be like, oh shit, Serqet's on my buddy's back, let's turn and burn. Alright? I don't know why this is the turn and burn motion, but we're going with it for this video. That being said, the push. Now this is another good mechanic, which at first I didn't really understand because I was a noob. So I played Serqet a lot in Season 2. She was my main jungle. She was in the meta. I don't play her that much right now. She's still kind of up there because there's some good healing gods and everything else that still make it into the rotations. But for me personally, I don't use her as often because Relics is my god of choice. This is a request by a viewer, so I bumped her up. She's on the list now. Actually, she's not on the list anymore because I'm finishing her tonight. When you're on the enemy god, stabbing them with your tail, tickling them and whatnot, you can rotate your camera. And whatever direction you're facing in is the way she'll push the enemy god. So, you jump on her, you want her to go back into tower, or Phoenix, towards the Titan, or just into the rest of your team who are waiting to just give that god a world of pain. That's what you do. You jump, your ultimate's going off, you turn to the direction, because you can't do anything anyhow. You turn in the direction you want to push them, do your thing. Hopefully your friends are there and it's a party and you're shitting in their cereal kind of scenario, okay? So we'll go over that a little bit more too once we get to the end of the video, but that's essentially what you want for the ultimate. Now it's different than obviously everyone else's ultimate, but the push, the poison, the stun, and the healing reduction is key. So that's what makes this ultimate pretty good against healers especially. So we've got the kit down. Now we're going to go into the item build. Now, As I said at the beginning of this video, I feel that she's more of one of the true assassins. You're not going to play her pretty much 90% of the time. That's just a random statistic I just threw out there. You're going to be playing her as a true assassin, not an auto attack assassin. You're going to get in, do your damage, get out, hopefully kill a couple people on the way. You're going to linger in the jungle. You're not going to initiate at all. When I play a Relics, I initiate sometimes. I'm a little ballsy. Whatever. That's what I do. I understand her kit. Her kit, too, you can understand it. And by understanding it, you realize not to initiate. Because you potentially won't do as much damage as you want, and you'll get melted. So, we're going to start out, as I always do, whoops, that's not the right one, with Relics. Alright? Relics down here are, and again I say this every video, and let me get a drink here before I start getting into this. Relics, and even the build that I'm going to give you, coming down, pipe, oh, that came down my lungs there, it's like weird, is situational. Meaning each game is going to be different. You could play the same gods on your team and the opposite team every game, and I'm cracking my neck. And things are just gonna be different. The minions are gonna whoop on your ass in the early game for some reason. It's just gonna be different. And then when you actually put different gods in the rotations, because you're never really gonna ever have the same gods on your team and the opposite team at the same time, because picks and bans or just randoms in general. It's going to be situational. That's my spiel. Change things up if you need to. Period. Don't get pigeonholed into this build. This build is a good start. Okay? It will get you by. It will make you poop on people, potentially. So, if things change in the future, maybe I'll come back with some comments to help out, but we're going to go with this. Patch 3.9, let's go. If they have an Ares, Scylla, an Anubis, anyone with freaking hard CC, which everyone and their sister has CC apparently now in this game, that you have to worry about, like an Ares, you're going to go Purification first. It's just what you're going to do. But for some reason, if the other team doesn't have any kind of CC you need to worry about. Like, you're not going to go over to the solo lane. The dual lane. So you're not going to have to worry about Ares that much. You're going to be mostly focusing in the mid or solo lane. Or the jungles. But you can probably, potentially, more times than not, skip Purification and save it for your level 12 Relic. But since you want to get in and get out, you're going to want Blink. Why? Because you can lurk in the jungle, blink in, do your thing, leap out, be gone. Preview to the end of the video, but that's what you want for. It is for when doing whatever. So for this, we're going to go Purification, because you're going to get in the team fights probably about around level 12 if you haven't already. And they're most likely going to have some kind of that's what I'm looking for. CC. So we're going to go Purification. If they don't, again, have Purification, somehow you can go Meditation, Sprint to chase those bastards down, because Sprint is the rock, paper, scissors scenario I said in my last video, I think with Neath. Or even a Frenzy. Or the Curse to slow them down so you can do your damage a lot easier. So, but more times than not, you're going to want these two relics. Blink, if you're not afraid of their crowd control, which is CC is short for crowd control, and then Purification at level 12, because that's when you really get into the late game, mid to late game, obviously, team fight scenarios. So I'm going to start out with the starter items, because I kind of skipped those in the earlier videos, and I'm doing this for Conquest. So, and there was one match where I forgot the Bumba's mask as a jungler, and that didn't go well. So, for Conquest, More times than not, you can maybe do this with... No, just for Conquest. Conquest. You don't need this in Assault or anything. Assault. Clash, Siege. You're not really going to be jungling that much if you choose an Assassin. But Conquest, you want Bumba's Mask because of the passive, which gives you true damage, I think. Or percent, and then against jungle camps. Plus you're healed for killing the jungle camps. So it helps you early game in clearing the jungle. Eventually, you can sell this off once you get some kind of lifesteal or whatever. If you get lifesteal. Which you probably won't because whatever. Weird little turmoil in my head right there. So you want Bumba's Mask to start out, and then you can go with a few potions. Power pot if you want. I don't power pot because I have a curse. Every time I power pot, I get shit on for no apparent reason. So I usually pick up, a few health potions, a few mana potions, and by the time those run out, I can finish my boots, etc. So first item, starting out with, is I think you can get boots 1, maybe 2 as well. Is some boots. You want the Warriors tab because it gives you the physical power and obviously the movement speed. You want movement speed because as a jungler you're going to be moving around a lot between all 3 lanes, clearing buffs for your allies, going for ganks, or helping prevent ganks. That being said, you don't want the auto attack one, the ninja tabby or whatever, because you're not going to be you're not an auto attack assassin. You're not a AAA god. So your next item is going to be Jotunes or Yotunes. Who I don't know. Jotunes sounds better for me. Or Jotun's Wrath. I think it's Jotun's Wrath. Most people say Jotuns. I don't know why. Because you want the physical power again. Because the percentage of that goes along with your stuff. You want the extra mana, you want the penetration, and you want the cooldown reduction. You want your abilities to pop off a cooldown quicker. Simple as enough. Kind of a standard assassin item. So far we haven't really differed from any other assassin in the mix. So the next item,
it's all about
the third item, we'll say. Because we're not going to really count Bumpus, because Bumpus is only really going to be picked up in Conquest. The third item, alright, I got a spike in my CPU usage, or CPU, whatever, random. The third item is going to be a crit item. Okay? Now, Season 2 crit was more in the meta than it is now. Now it's more penetration and straight power and kin size and all that shit. With Serqet, because you're going to get in and out as quick as you can, and because of her one in her kit, which is critable, you're going to want to buy a crit item. And usually you want the best crit item there is, which, I guess it's right here, Deathbringer. Why? Because it gives you another 50 physical power, plus 20% crit chance. That's not too bad. But the passive is increasing the crit chance by 40%. So if you do the math, I don't know if it's 40% on top of that 20% or if it's 60%. I don't know. You just crit a lot. So I'm going to say it's a 60% chance to crit. That's pretty damn good. Actually, let's put it on and we'll see. Is there a critical chance? It says 20. Okay. It doesn't include the passive. Lame, right? Whatever. So we're going to back out there. Still crit a lot. Oops. I want to go back. I wanted to back out of this. You still crit a lot with Deathbringer. Okay? So the next item can be one of two. Depending on how you feel, once you start to build out, you can change these next two items. You can switch them back and forth. If you want to go into the next crit item, you're going to go into Malice, which will give you another 50 physical power. Cool. So between these two items, you got 100 physical power right there. plus another 20% crit chance. Plus, when you deal, as a passive, a critical strike, which will be a lot once you put this on, because you already have Deathbringer, and I just dropped my controller. Okay, nothing happened. An additional 75% of your total physical power, which would be 75 just between those two items right there. Plus you got the War Tabby, I forget how much that is. As physical damage over the next 3 seconds. An additional crits, refresh this. So if you're critting like crazy, your additional 75% damage goes on these gods. Okay? This is why you do your damage and you get the hell out of the dodge. You want your abilities. So you're not building really any auto attack items. So far you don't have any lifesteal items. You don't have kin size in the kit. No kin size in this kit at all. Because you're not going to really be sticking around. You maybe do 1 or 2 auto attacks because of your passive, and then you bounce them. Poof. Vanish. Etc. So, we're going to go Malice. Double up on crit right there. Your next item will be this one here, Titan's Bane. It just gives you additional penetration, so those crits and the penetration, you'll just be doing a lot of damage within 3 to 5 seconds. It's just how you roll. So I mean, we're gonna look here at physical power. You're at 210 right now. You got some penetration, which is actually another 33%, not that 10% there. What the hell is going on with my PC where it keeps spiking? Hopefully this video is not lagging too much. I do not understand what's going on. We're gonna close some things here. Hopefully that will bring it down. Makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, back to what we were saying. You've got 210. That's not too bad. Physical power right there. So you know those things where you have an additional 50%. That's another 100 damage on top of what was there. Let's close this one out. So at this point, or if you haven't already, probably might have sold it to get like Deathbringer or Malice earlier. Most likely probably around the Malice range. You probably sell this Bumba's Mask. So for a final item, you could go anything. At this point, you're probably definitely only team fights. That is your main role. So some people go into a defense item, and it's not Height of the Urchin really isn't that good at this point because you need stacks, and you may or may not be involved in assists or kills. You can either go, if you're ahead, I would go Mantle of Discord. Gives you pretty good protections, plus the passive, which stuns enemies if they're hitting you pretty hard, and allows you to get away. But I think mostly people will be... Oops, I hit the wrong button. Where is it? This one here. Spirit Robe. Because it gives you, decent protections. Not too bad. Here, I'll bring this up so it's a little more visible. But it gives you additional cooldown reduction. So I think you're at 30 at this point. Not bad. It'll help you get those abilities up quicker. Excuse me. Plus, it gives you crowd control reduction, which is good because, like I said, you're going to be in team fights, and everyone and their sister has some form of CC in this game. And also as a passive, you gain additional 15% mitigation whenever you're hit by a hard CC. So you hit by Kumba's Mesmerize or whatever the hell, Sleepy Time T thing, and you get additional 15% mitigation. So not bad. This is more or less, it's cost less than Mantle of Discord, so you'll be able to get it sooner, and it'll help you out. Even if you're ahead, you might want to go this just for the CC reduction built in. It might help get you away as well. So we're gonna put this one in as your last item.
Interesting.
So this build right here is the one to try out. It will get you started. And it'll get you some pretty decent damage. Alright. Again, situational. You can mix and match. You can go Malice before Deathbringer. I would go some kind of crit right after Jotunes just to get that started for her one. Her one ability will utilize that crit item the most, or crit items the most. And you can triple crit if you wanted to, if you don't over cap or cap things, etc. So we're gonna go into her priorities next on what to rank up when you're leveling up. I'm at 20 now, so I've got everything 5, but going from 1 to 1 to 20 is gonna, obviously you're gonna have ranks. So your priority should be her 1, then her 2, then her 3, mixing in her alt whenever it pops up. So you're gonna max rank her 1 whenever you can, because that's going to get you the most damage. That's going to get you the most lane clear. You're going to max rank her 2 after that whenever you can, because that will give you the setup for her 1. I'll go into that in a moment here. 3, it's just there. Pop a point into it when you are forced to do so, which is probably around rank or level 15 or so. And then again, alt whenever you can, because it's going to give you that extra true damage, the random number true damage, etc., etc. So that are the priorities. You can mix and match if you want, but I think those pretty much are the straight priorities. Unlike most gods, this is pretty clear cut on what you should do. Her 1 is her damage factor. So next into the combat scenarios / combos. We're going to go here on our Faithful Odin. We're just going to do a few auto attacks. Okay, that was a big crit right there, you saw. So, bam, bam. Yeah, so that's her auto attacks. Which, it's not too slow. Not too slow. So, we're going to start out here. We're going to show you her 1 here. As you look at the zigzag here, this can change depending on the way you look. If you're clearing the wave, you might want to do this. If you're trying to get the hell out of dodge and you have this ability up, you can use this and to maximize the distance between whoever is chasing you. But when you're clearing the wave or the jungle camps, or you want to do max damage on a god, you want to have it as close as possible. That way you definitely get all 3 hits. If you do like this, you're only going to get 1 hit on an enemy, whether it be a minion or a god. If you have it like this, you're going to get all 3 hits. And it's just boom, boom, boom. See, and I crit twice there. That was over 1,000 damage. You can see he's poisoned with the little bubbles. Like he could be drunk. And actually, look at the poison there, little meter next to his health bar. So that lets you know he's poisoned. So that's that. So obviously, the closer the better. Now her 2 here goes in a straight line, and you can see there's those 2 little sparks or whatever we'll call them. It's kind of hard to see the second one because my neck is right there, but so you could potentially hit 2 different gods with this, depending on if you're kind of going in an arc and they're close together. First I'll hit him with 2. See, he came at me. He's gonna go right back, but he's got that poison and everything else. We'll wait for the cooldown, and I'll hit him with 1 and then move to the left. And if there was a god there, I could hit him with the second all-spark, we'll call it. Second poison. All right, so 1, 2, see? So it taunts him. You could taunt more than one person, or more than one enemy using this. Or you could do double damage on a god if you just hit one god. Her 3 here is a leap. More often than not, you're going to want to go as far away as possible, unless you're using this to initiate. More often than not, I save this to get the hell out of dodge. This is my last ability use. And I'll go over that in a second. But here, you just jump, woo, leap, boom. It's a little area effect. Any enemy, minion, or god in that will take the damage. And then we have her ultimate, which I'm just going to use the ultimate here on Ra, just so you can see. And you can see the radius is pretty close. It's not like that leap. You can't make it go further or whatever. It's pretty much any god within this radius you're going to go after. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to leap on Ra, stun. I'm going to turn my camera and push him in a different direction. So here we go. And I'll probably kill him as a follow-up. Hey, boom, boom, boom. He shielded me. There we go. Boom. I taunted and I woo, yeah, woo, and I did my little dance there. So, so OBS for some reason looks like it might be stuttering. So hopefully it doesn't look crappy when I'm trying to go over this. But so that's pretty much the scenario there. You're gonna want to clean up with your ultimate though. So I'm gonna actually wait for this cooldown in the next 30 seconds. You're gonna blink in. You know, so if you're behind this wall, you see you got blink right here. I'll try to blink in. Hopefully you can see the god because you'll have allies initiating the god. They're going to be in a fight. You're going to mostly gank with Serqet. She'll be initiating. She's just sitting there. And my ultimate's up in like a few seconds here. So I'll blink in. Taunt. Dance. Ult. And then leap out. So I'll blink. Start over. Blink 2, 1, 4, 3, out. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a lot of damage. We're not gonna kill Odin because he's immortal, but that's what we're gonna do. So here we go. Blink, taunt, dash, ult, push, get the fuck out. If you can, you obviously want to do an auto attack before you jump out. I forgot that portion because it does that at 10 to 20% extra max health damage. So if you can, blink or run up if you don't have blink, or use your 3 if you feel ballsy enough. It's just 1 and you know you're gonna get the kill. Leap in, 2, 1, ult, auto attack, go. Because that auto attack will do that additional damage. You want to auto attack. That is a key thing about her passive that I forgot. And I apologize. So that is the scenario. You can't get the auto attack, do what I showed. And maybe I'll just do it one more time. But while I'm waiting for that cooldown, she is a very true assassin. I can't iterate that enough. So we're not going to blink because it's down. So let's just say, close your eyes and then open them up. I blinked. Whoa, okay. 2, 1, ult, push, auto attack if you can, and get the hell out of dodge. Boom. That's the combo. That will do a lot of damage. Most likely not. You're not going to want to do that against a full health god though. You want to use her for ganks. Ganks are key with her. Lurk in the jungle, help clear waves, and then go and gank and just destroy. Use the ultimate on any healer on the enemy team every time. Always focus the healers because healing will be reduced when she's got that ult on her. Or the god's got an ult on her. Anyway, that's that. I'm trying to wrap this up, not to make it too long. I babble sometimes. Here we go. Excuse me. Wow. Wow. Inappropriate, right? I hope this helped. That is my intention. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up. It always is nice to get a thumbs up and or comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep doing this. I need to make a playlist just for the Smite God builds and start actually uploading ranked matches again for Season 3. You can always catch me live on Twitch at Razium_Inc. as shown on the Twitter right there. That's over here. That's the name. You can also hit me up on Twitter. I post when I'm going to stream, what I'm going to stream, if I'm not on my schedule. And any random, giveaways or whatever, musings, or just responding to people if they ask me questions on that. And I hope this helps. I really enjoy it. If you have a god you want seen, leave a comment below, and I will work it in the rotation. Like I said earlier, this god was a request by a viewer on Twitch, so that's why she got bumped up. If I don't get any comments by next week, I'm trying to bust these out at least once a week. I'm going to go to a mage, which may be Scylla. She's pretty in the meta now. She's banned a lot of times. So, have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. And peace.